I'm going to say, angels, this is the Pisces new moon reading. We're going to get started right away. This may be the luckiest moon of the year. I don't know yet. I mean, I haven't looked at all the different transits that we're going to go through over the year, but just thinking in terms of the conjunction that's also taking place between Jupiter and Neptune, which are both of Pisces rulers. They're taking place right now, with the moon also in Pisces. That's a lot of really, really positive energy. New moons bring newness. They bring abundance, opportunities. And then Jupiter is the planet of luck, and of expansion and growth and new possibilities. And then we have Jupiter being Pisces, ancient ruler, located there in Pisces. And then its current ruler, Neptune, which is all about our deepest, most innermost desires in everything, including love and unconditional love, also located in Pisces. I mean, I think that's a recipe for possibly, like I said, the luckiest new moon of the year. But we shall see. I mean, no matter what, I think it's going to be good. So I'm not worried about this, whereas I otherwise might be. The Five of Pentacles and the Tower, two cards that we're starting with. I think that something very real may have occurred in some of our lives, and it could be literal for some, like maybe your home caught on fire, or for some reason you had to leave it, or you're in fear of having to leave it after something took place. Could be talking about some of the people who are fearing eviction around the country, after the pandemic. And so maybe not, when I say a real thing and literal, maybe not in the sense that you're actually going through it, because I don't really feel that, to be honest, but that there is a legitimate or, basis, I guess, for you to have a legitimate fear of this happening to you. But I don't think there's a need to worry. All right. So again, because like I said, I think the good things are going to happen. After that, we have this Four of Cups in reverse, which means that we're not sitting around feeling like, oh, woe is me, and sulking and being disappointed anymore. We're getting up off our butts and doing something about our circumstances and making things happen. And then the next card is also an Ace of Cups. So the positive things, I think, want to happen soon, but maybe there is something that we first have to go through or have recently gone through that is throwing us for a loop, that saying, things aren't so positive in our life. But look, I opened the cards up to put the Five of Pentacles inside so that I can shuffle a little bit in front of you. And what do I open to right away? The Ace of Pentacles. So again, positivity, newness, abundance. We're going to put the Tower away too. Look, I opened to the Nine of Cups. Okay, and this Nine of Cups is atop a Five of Wands. So again, I think there's something through which we may have to go. There's some challenge. There's some people who want to challenge us, be obstacles, block us, fight us, maybe even literally. But things are still going our way. I think we'll be victorious. We have the Sun here also. So we have this Five of Wands sitting here in between the Nine of Cups, sandwiched in. The Nine of Cups and the Sun is what it's between. So this is things working out in our favor, I believe. I'll go ahead and put the Four of Cups in reverse, since we looked at that too. And this Ace of Cups also away. And I put that right here on top of the Queen of Cups, who's sitting here with the Queen of Swords, atop the Ten of Swords in reverse. So again, there was some sort of difficulty, challenge, betrayal, or maybe some of us will experience that early, like this week or in this period, but by the end of the 2 weeks, really experiencing the abundance instead, and the positivity of Jupiter, of Neptune, of the new moon, and of the conjunction. And that's going to happen very quickly. Very quickly, the tide will change and things will get moving in your favor. And the Ace of Swords is all about victory and success and clarity and things coming to light. I just opened to the Ten of Pentacles also. So yeah, I think that all of these cards are trying to confirm what I'm saying. And I just opened to that Tower again too, and I threw the Queen of Cups on top of it. So the Tower for some of us could be in love also. We may have a fear of something happening in our relationships, or the fact that we don't have a relationship at all, or you know, some sort of worry or attachment to the past. We could be thinking about somebody from our past. Maybe that they just feeling sort of like they fed us breadcrumbs and left us out in the cold and didn't do us right. And are worried about our futures. But again, I think there's only good things to come in this time. We shall see in a moment if I'm right. Right? That's my prediction ahead of the reading. I'm stopping here now on the Knight of Pentacles, followed by the Page of Cups. Both of these cards upright. The World is in reverse, so the cycle has ended. Let's cut these. I'm not even sure I'll actually use these in the reading. I think I'm just going to do a cross. And that's it. Well, maybe a cross and the spread from the masculine perspective. I do like to do that. Something from the past could come up to be dealt with. It may be involving a relationship from the past, possibly even a romantic relationship from the past, that maybe we, you know, avoided talking about some things, avoided seeing each other, avoided facing, you know, a situation, facing the music, facing one another. But something comes up to be dealt with from the past. May involve a Scorpio. And or, you know, the energy of transformation, transition, like something wants to come to an end so that the new thing can start. The energy deck, we're starting with the Angel of Love, okay, followed by Archangel Gabriel in reverse. So maybe somebody's having trouble saying what they need to say. That could be why the Ace of Swords shows up. Again, by the, you know, end of this period, this 2 weeks, we'll have found our voice possibly, and be able to say what we need to say. Angel of Love may help us to say that in a loving and compassionate way, whatever it is, to whomever it is. You know what? Also, that Tower and the people feeling left out in the cold, that could definitely be about the war too. For sure. You know, the people having to vacate. People feeling left out in the cold, as if they were being prevented from leaving the country, which is a lot of the black population of the Ukraine. Had to wait while others were prioritized before them to get on buses and things. I did see a report, like an update today, that some black people had finally been transported to Romania, and from there they're going to Ghana and Nigeria. So that is very positive. And they said that Romania has been very good to them, fed them. They haven't been asked for a dime since they've been in Romania. Romania has foot the bill for, you know, protecting them as refugees, which was nice to hear. But that could definitely be what the Tower and Five of Pentacles was about, the war and people being, you know, vacated from their homes, basically, essentially evicted from their homes. You know, if they want to be safe from the fight, from the bullets. So, you know, definitely thinking about all the people involved. It's hard for me to find it in me to feel bad for the countries themselves, like the institutions, because these are institutions of you know, of racism and oppression and colonialism, you know, colonizing different peoples and lands. But the people in all the places involved, you know, so the Russian people, the innocents among them, the Ukrainian people, the black people who were just felt deserted and left behind. Those are the people that I feel for. I know there's a lot of Russians too that are protesting the war. They're putting their lives on the line, you know, to stand outside and protest, knowing what kind of government they live under. So all those people, just for what it's worth, because, you know, I kind of get sick of hearing about all the thoughts and prayers too, when people are needing real, like, tangible help. But for what it's worth, they definitely have my thoughts and prayers, the innocents among them. Anyway, Goddess of the Moon, how appropriate is this, you know, for our Pisces new moon reading? And then here we have the Nine of Cups. Okay, wish fulfillment, goals being reached, dreams coming true, prayers being answered. So maybe again, for what it's worth, my prayers are going up for all the innocents of the world. That you be, victorious and abundant and blessed. And it's followed by the Six of Wands, which is a card of victory. And the Chariot, which is also a card of victory. This can also be about people needing to, again, move around, whether it's on a large scale like that, like leaving the country, or, for whatever reason you need to move or travel or want to move or travel. Chariot shows up, but the Chariot is definitely a card of victory too. And it's here atop 2 Fives of Swords and a 5 of Pentacles. Now these two were in reverse. And actually, this one was in reverse too, wasn't it? No, this one was upright. This one was upright after these. So all these upright cards. And the next card was another 5 of Swords, but in reverse, and the 5 of Pentacles. So there's this funky energy that is underlying. But again, this is about being victorious over it all. And prayers being answered. So it is worth it to send out those positive thoughts around the world. As I say that, the star also shows up. This is definitely a card of wish fulfillment and answered prayer and dreams coming true, miracles happening. So, and I just threw the Chariot atop another tower. So we already have all the cards repeating themselves and showing up. And these messages being sort of re-emphasized, like not to worry, even though it may seem like a, dire situation, a frightening or scary situation. There will be victory for the good, for the righteous, is what I'm seeing and feeling. So again, whether it's small scale and in your personal life, whatever challenges or battles you're fighting as an individual, or we're talking larger scale, good versus evil. Right versus wrong. Right will prevail. Overall energy here is now the 5 of Wands, followed by the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Empress. So there could be competition, again, fighting, challenge, feeling of being conflicted, maybe emotionally, maybe logically, like thinking this doesn't make sense, I should be doing something else, I should not be following my heart, so you could be conflicted inside. And maybe there is guidance to seek help, support, working groups. 3s can be about collaboration with others. Also about creativity or co-creation with those others, abundance. So we start out with this one card of challenge, and then there's a lot of positivity behind it. All right. Yeah, we're going to do the cross. So this will be general energies and love. All right, that's 3 cards. Recent past. Near future. 5D or higher self message. .3D life. Heart of the matter. Specifically love and relationship. And the energy that we'll, leave this new moon with and move toward the full moon with in 2 weeks. With, again, the overall energy of the Five of Wands. Just do the same with these cards here from the energy deck. With the overall energy of the Goddess of the Moon. Recent past. The Tower. A significant life event. A powerful revelation that leads to change. It is time to spread your wings. So some of us, like I said, may have actually experienced something like an actual shakeup. And some might just have had a revelation or, come to some sort of profound clarity or major life decision that is going to sort of change the course of things for you. And this would be indicative of those who were faced with a decision that they just didn't know what to do. They found themselves at a crossroads because they really knew what they wanted to do in their heart, sort of like what we saw with the Knight of Cups versus the Knight of Swords. They knew what they wanted to do with the heart, in their heart, and what they wanted to choose, but there's a fear of making that actual choice because of ramifications involving exterior, like what other people will think, our worry about how it will affect others, what they'll say, what they'll do if we make our decision. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, being at a stalemate and pretending there's no problem. So it's like the building's on fire and we're just gonna pretend we don't see the smoke. Or, if I got my mail here, I throw it on the table, and if I don't open it, then I don't have to pay my bills. It's that kind of thinking, but there's still going to be something happening. It's just you're ignoring the fact that a action needs to be taken or a decision needs to be made. But here we have, again, the Chariot. So for those for whom this life experience or tower has to do with an actual tower, structure, or home, again, it can be about moving. All right, you can successfully balance various or opposing energies all at once. Through determination and focus, you've earned the rewards and recognition that you are receiving. So it may very well have to do with moving or travel, a decision to travel, or again, on a greater scale, to leave the country. What should I do? Should I leave? Should I stay? And this is also, again, a card of victory. For some of us, it could be just true to the card itself. Could be something having to do with maybe getting a new car, maybe deciding whether or not to get a new car. Maybe the tower is that our car broke down, our old car broke down, or, maybe there was an accident where the car is beyond repair or it's too old to bother to fix. And so we're deciding whether or not to get a new car. And these cards are paired with the Thinking Man from the energy deck. Let me make sure that we're in frame with everything. And this card can be about a love interest that's on his way into your life, for one thing. It can also be about somebody who is sort of like the presence of even like a teacher. I don't want to say he's coming to educate you, but maybe he's coming to advise you, to help you to make a decision, or to help you through whatever situation it is you're facing. To hold your hand, or to tell you about your options, give you an idea. This could be a car salesman, it could be that. I'm going to educate you on the different kind of options and cars available to you and what makes the most sense for you to buy, what's the most efficient, during these times, which is something to think about. We get a lot of our oil from Russia. I won't go into it, but expect the possibility of prices continuing to rise, having nothing to do with Biden. I know people like to, blame that on the American president, especially when they're a Democrat, but it wouldn't have anything to do with that. It would have to do with our dependency as a country, as a nation, which has been for a long time. This is not just over the past year we started doing business with Russia. Anyway, I won't get into all of that, but we had talked in previous readings about, there could be some sort of like real inflation, a financial crisis or something. These are things that I was predicting, 6 months ago for this time, and it looks like they may be happening. Anyway, near future. Ace of Swords. So again, more victory, clarity. This is also information into which we're coming. This is newness, new start. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. So something may pop up that is a challenge that sort of throws you off your game. Like, wait a minute, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was on the right path. Now this happened, this tower. Now what? And again, you got to keep that victory in mind. You got to keep those thoughts positive, because despite that, things will go in your favor if you, continue to follow along. Now we have the 8 of Cups with this. Oh boy. Okay. We have the 8 of Cups with this, for one thing. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. So again, this card can be about literal movement, moving, or migration on a larger scale, right? And for some, it is about walking away from something that does not serve you. And for some, it's about, walking toward something that you feel will serve you, in the immediate future. Ultimately, if you're walking away from something that you feel like is not going to serve you, ultimately the purpose of that is so that you can be put in front of something that will serve you. But it may not be in the same period. So this time could either be for you to walk away, or maybe you're ready to move towards something. In either case, it's a new situation. And what I was just chuckling about is I mentioned the tower because it was just here, but this is the tower also. Important changes are coming into your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So again, the tower can be about an actual tower, structure, home, building. It can be about a major revelation or life decision that you're needing to make. It could definitely be combinations of those, looking at these. Again, walking away from something or towards something, maybe meeting with challenge, but being successful after it all. Yeah, those could definitely go together. And from the energy deck, they are partnered with the Garden and the Gate in reverse, which, believe it or not, the Garden and the Gate is a better card in reverse than it is upright. Because well, let me let you look at the card so you can see. What's positive about it is it's about making the positive choice, the happy choice to live your life and to actually open the door and move beyond the gate. For a lot of people, it can have to do with spiritual choices, your ideologies, which these revelations may be about too. People think that you can't, make money and have material possessions and be spiritual. It's like, if I'm spiritual, I got to be broke and, in a big minimalistic empty room with nothing but, a pair of yoga pants, and beads, to my name. And that's not true. So this can be about venturing beyond the gate, moving toward the abundance that's all out there for you. To have. And if you think about it from a spiritual perspective, or even from a religious perspective, like Jesus says, or in the Bible, or the Bible says that Jesus says, that the devil came to, steal from us and to hurt us and harm us and make us miserable, but that he came so that we could have life and have it more abundantly. So it's like, the religious leader, or, for many of us, an ascended master, telling you it's okay. Not only is it okay for you to be abundant, but that's what I meant for you. That's my whole role in all of this, is for you to be abundant. So this is about us, breaking free of those mindsets that make us think that we're, sort of meant to be broke. That could be the major revelation that shifts your life, changes your life. Because let's say you have that revelation, now all of a sudden you could be moving out into, new opportunities, new career, maybe new career path, new job. For us Geminis, for example, this Pisces is our 10th house of, things like career shifts and changes and things. So again, with luck happening in that same placement, luck, growth, expansion, this could really be a time. Maybe that's why the Ace of Swords is showing up. Maybe that's our energy, right? The swords for us and other air signs, Libra and Aquarius. So maybe, for example, for us, that's why the Ace of Swords shows up, because they're saying this is the time for you to strike out and do something completely different. Now, obviously, this is not a Gemini reading. I'm just using it as an example. But yeah, strike out. The message from the higher self is Page of Cups. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced, you can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. So this is, again, something very positive, news, information, some sort of offer of love or kindness, compassion that comes toward us. Now, it may not be the message exactly that we were looking for or from who we wanted it or something. There could be something about it that, disappoints us or that we're not exactly happy with, but that what we're meant to do is to really focus on the good in it and the positivity of it all, and the fact that we got a loving, compassionate message, period, rather than, the other aspects that may make us say, oh, but it's not everything I wanted. You know what I mean? Focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move onward and upward. This can also be about, something separate and apart from the offer. This can be about a difficulty that we had. And as long as we think positive and remain positive, other positive things will happen to us. So then here will come, this offer. Maybe there was a disappointment, but since we kept ourselves positive about it, maybe our car did break down. But since we kept our thoughts positive about it, boom, here comes the money falling right into our hands to buy the new car, It can be that. And here we have the Hangman, which is about the need to let something go. Often it's not something tangible. It's something emotional, and it's a negative emotion that we need to let go of. So it is something like, greed or gluttony or our ego or the inability to forgive and, all these feelings of regret and disappointment and all that kind of stuff. Letting go of that, because all it does is hold you back. Look at the things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily, things will soon start moving again. So if you feel stuck, your progress is halted because your car broke down, right? Oh man, how am I going to get to work tomorrow? Well, if you remain positive about the fact that the universe always has you covered, or God always has, whatever it is in which you believe, then, next thing you know, again, you're being covered. And here comes the opportunity to get a new car. So things will start moving again. And boom, the card from the energy deck that these cards are partnered with is Blossoming Abundance. This is the Hangman, by the way. I don't know if I stressed that. The Hangman in the tarot does represent the sign of Pisces, as may this Page of Cups. And it may be an actual person in your life, an actual Pisces, if not a Cancer or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. So our higher self wants us to know all about blossoming abundance that's happening for us. 3D life. Yeah, here's the competition. Here's the, whoa. Okay. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict. All right, we're not supposed to be trying to, light everybody up. We're supposed to be trying to walk away from situations and not allow an actual fight to brew. But if it happens, it happens, right? Occasionally, it's going to happen. We're going to clash. And then, we do what we can to minimize it without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. So if it's going to cost you your integrity, then you don't minimize it. You handle it, head on. But that's partnered with the Lovers. So it could definitely be that one is conflicted about a partner or couple of partners in which they have to choose from, or whether or not to move forward, because this can be about true love. Maybe they're afraid, so they're feeling conflicted, or there could be competition, whereas, you know, you have more than one suitor, or you're pursuing somebody, you're interested in somebody who has more than one suitor. Speaking of Gemini, the Lovers represents the sign of Gemini. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. So if you're conflicted between your heart and your head, for example, follow your heart is what it's saying. And partner with the Ace of Pentacles. So this is something, the relationship's abundant, life is abundant, life wants to give you abundance, the universe wants to give you abundance, God wants to give you abundance in all, you know, areas of your life. So it could be material or monetary, love, you know, abundance comes in many, many forms. And you can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be offered, right? The rewarding advice can come from this guy, the thinking man. We talked about him possibly being somebody who steps into your life to provide you with advice, and maybe you fall in love with him. I mean, that could be another caveat to it, you know. You may be offered a fabulous new job or business opportunity, as I was just talking about there, or promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. The collaboration, the party of three, a group, you know, you could be asked to join a venture, right? And to co-create with other people. And it's partnered with the sun. So again, this is going to be something that's going to be successful. It's going to be abundant. It's going to grow, right? The sun shines on the greenery, the money, it grows. This is fortune for you. At the heart of the matter, we do have what? Boom. Y'all saw me shuffle. Y'all saw me put cards away that we had looked at, mix everything up in front of your face. Still, we got two twos of wands here, or 1111. I'm sure many people may see it as that. So the two of wands is actually the twin flame card of the tarot. So if this is about love, this is, think about it in terms of the lovers that sits right underneath it. And this is the makings for some indescribable relationships, like some really, really legit partnerships. But in business and everything too, these could be legit partnerships. Your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist you in your endeavors, or to expand the number of people who are helping you. So again, if you have an opportunity to collaborate or co-create, there's guidance for that too. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't take something on yourself if you have an opportunity to do that. But you've come into your own, so you can take on something yourself too. New partnerships or contracts are also possible, and you should continue to move forward in either case. Then we have those here with the King of Swords, who is intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. And this may be who's stepping in to give you advice too. He's very diplomatic. You know, he can look at all the sides of a situation. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly and be objective and unemotional. That's another thing he's good for. Saying what he means and meaning what he says. Not necessarily being careful about how he says it. And that's maybe his only fault, right? You should act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. The King of Swords is possibly a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And we have another Two of Swords here, so we have more indecision and maybe confusion. Again, maybe this is about somebody being conflicted. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. What do we have right here, right below it? A card that said that you should follow your heart. Right? That's your inner guidance. So just saying. And then we have adjacent possibilities in reverse, which I think is showing us to hone in on just one possibility. Sort of like where the Seven of Cups is in reverse. And it means like, you know, make a decision, pick one, narrow it down, or, you know, choose one or two things to focus on and do those well and let the others go. That's what I'm getting from this too. Specific to love, we have, this is the crossing card, and put this here for a second. Some very, first of all, it's 4 cards instead of just 3. 3 of the 4 cards are major arcana cards, And it's some very heavy energy. So we got the High Priestess, which is a Gemini or possibly a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. The High Priestess is someone who is highly desired because she has it all together. She's so smart and intuitive. She's often older than this person that's interested in her. You know, that's often what the situation is of why they feel like this other person may feel like she's kind of unattainable and unapproachable maybe. If she's not older, like maybe they just see her as more wise, more together, more successful, more affluent. And so it's like, I can't talk to her. It's that kind of feeling. So for others, for whom that doesn't apply, this could just be simply giving you guidance as to the fact that you need to approach your relationships, your love and romance sector with all of the information you have available to you. So like, use your common sense, listen to your heart, listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, follow guidance, signs, synchronicities, pay attention to them, you know, and then make a decision, like after you take everything into account. The Three of Cups says that in a general sense, not even necessarily just specific to love, the Three of Cups says that you will have at least one positive reunion during this period with someone or something. So it could be that you come across something, you find something that reminds you of someone and you're very happy, you know, here's that thing that he or she gave me, you know, that one time or whatever it was. Or you could actually be reuniting with someone, or you could be invited to a social event like the Page of Cups said, and if that's the case and it's possible at all for you to go, you should go, because you could have a serendipitous meeting like the Ace of Pentacles suggested, and you could be meeting the person who's going to be the love of your life, that your twin flame, that with that Two of Wands and the Lover's card that fell here. A celebration, a wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement, and the need to have more fun. In order to do that, we have to allow ourselves to transition into new energy. We can't continue to hold on to the past. We have to let the past go. We have to let the tides change. You know, sometimes we're afraid of what's coming in the future, afraid of the unknown, but all of this newness requires first death of the old. So it's the end of a phase or situation. We could also be going through a spiritual transformation, specifically, again, allowing the gate to open and for us to move beyond it. It's because it's time to move on. Right? Major Arcana card Death represents the sign of Scorpio most directly. And then we have Major Arcana card 19, the Sun. Happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. The Sun represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which Jupiter rules. It is about, especially in a moon reading, or, you know, when coupled with the moon. So we got the moon and the sun here at the same time. But the moon, you know, has in the darkness, or has us in the dark about, the sun will shed light on and bring clarity about. So things, information maybe that's been kept from us for whatever reason, doesn't mean that somebody's been keeping a secret from us. It could be the universe that, you know, just wasn't ready to reveal it to us. Now, you know, certain things are going to be shown to us now. Things are going to come to the light. There's going to be more clarity. There's going to be more understanding and more guidance as to what our next move should be. And then also, you know, this is about positive outcomes again, but having confidence and being positive is required. Crossing that, or those cards, we have the Hierophant. I mean, this is not a challenge, you know, that's crossing it. The Hierophant, traditional viewpoints or methods. Well, it's not a challenge unless you're trying to do something maybe that's untraditional, non-traditional, and maybe that's why you feel challenged and why you're having a difficulty making a decision. Maybe the person is older than you, you know, like the High Priestess, and you're worried about, again, what other people are going to think. Maybe that's from where the Two of Swords comes, because that would be sort of non-traditional for maybe a younger man, and an older woman especially can be non-traditional and maybe even frowned upon, and people are going to talk about it. And so maybe that is a challenge for you. But in of itself, I would not say that the Hierophant in love and relationship is a challenge. I mean, the Hierophant, especially in this placement, love and relationship, is about marriage, commitment, right? Contracts, agreements. So this is what we want to see. This is union, basically. The card is even called Unity in this deck. Represents the sign of Taurus most directly. And from the energy deck, We have door to value. Door to value. In terms of love and relationship. I think the other day in the weekly reading, we had the reverse. We had the door to romance was in the finance and work and finance placement, which was funny. Upright like this, door to value is about new opportunities, new beginnings. So, I mean, it fits right in with a new moon reading. But I think I may have put it upright. I think it may have... I think it may have been in reverse, and I may have laid it upright. In which case, I mean, it's not the end of the world. If that's the case, so for some of you may be experiencing this. Something going on with your love life may mean that a door has to close on, something having to do with work or career. So you may have to take a different path, avoid a job, quit a job so you can move to be by your partner, whatever it is. I don't know. Some sort of door to value, so door to money or career, may either has the potential of closing or may completely close or have to be closed if you choose love and relationship. Like in order for these positive things to happen with your love and relationship. Yeah. So if anybody's experiencing that, then I'll have to chalk it up to the fact that the card maybe should have been in reverse, and then that's why. So I want to give you both meanings. But upright door to value doesn't really have a meaning in the book that I can think of having to do with love. But what I'm getting from it is not only the value of the relationship, again, that this would be an abundant relationship, mutually reciprocal, that this is also a card of new beginnings, and that is according to the book. What situation we'll be working on or moving through as we approach things to let go with the full moon? The Knight of Cups. He's romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. The Knight of Cups is possibly an actual Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And for me, he is also often somebody who's returning to your life. So, and it is mirroring this where the placement, where the love is. So there's 3 of Cups, basically, and it can be about a reunion with somebody from your past. Also, recall, we saw the 6 of Cups in the beginning that could be associated with a relationship from our past and something coming up from our past to be dealt with. So that may be what's happening now. It's paired here with the Queen of Earth, the Queen of Pentacles. She is thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. And this is somebody who is trying to, make a home, create a home, or create an environment that feels like home, wherever that may be. Whether that's with her energy or with actual like redecorating or your new home. But then it's also paired with the 2 of Pentacles, which can be about work and stuff getting in the way of relationship, right? About, being unable to balance the 2, like your personal life from your private life or from your work life, your career. Too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Again, like which one do you want to prioritize? Consider a more playful approach. So we could be finding ourselves hanging in the balance, and the Angel of Balance shows up as we approach the next major moon cycle. Hanging in the balance in terms of a relationship and not really being able to find the time for it, and maybe putting more of our focus on work, the material, and things like that, and just needing to try to find time for both, or perhaps one will come to an end, or we'll decide that one has to come to an end in order for things to work. And the Angel of Balance really just comes to, support that, and to say that in a loving way. I mean, it is an angel, right? That something's out of proportion, something's out of balance, and or it could be, again, we're trying to do too much. We got too much on our plate. We're trying to manage this relationship, trying to manage this work. We're juggling everything. We might need some sleep. We might need some rest, relaxation, a vacation, something calming. All of these are loving warnings that come from the angel of balance, potentially. And that's our general spread. Am I going to do... I'll quickly do a spread from the masculine's perspective, too. Let's do it. Let's just do it. You know what? Maybe I should do it with the tarot cards. So I won't have the repeat cards that I like to have for you guys if I do that. But at least I've already shuffled them. So I won't have to make this reading much longer than it already is or is going to be. And maybe I won't have as much anticipated trouble with YouTube in terms of uploading it and stuff. So we left off with an overall energy of the Six of Cups in reverse, you recall. Divine Feminine. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse in the Divine Feminine placement. So this could be somebody that the Divine Feminine is thinking about. Or this could be her own energy as well, in terms of a king. Maybe she's leaning into her masculine energy. It may be involving directly an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, also in reverse, we have the Ace of Wands, which in terms of love and relationship, and really in general too, is often about a delay. Wands are about movement, and this is like the movement is not happening right now, but there is some new movement, some very strong energy that wants to come through. The masculine as it relates to himself, we have the Ten of Pentacles, and he may be dealing with something in his life right now that has to do with his family, his heritage, his legacy, some sort of inheritance or something, and maybe that's where the focus is. Or he may have a separate family, maybe he has children, maybe a partner even, he could be involved in another relationship. And if that's the case, there's a particular focus on that right now. If he's single, he could just be having a mindset also and not dealing with any of those issues. There could also be just a mindset of feeling secure. This could definitely be him, that the feminine is thinking about. And he is in this sort of King of Pentacles, very, very abundant Ten of Pentacles energy, just feeling secure and stable and able to provide, able to have a family if he did want to, if he did come into one. Masculine's feelings on the connection or union as a whole. Because for some of us, we haven't even met these people. It's just a connection, just a feeling in the heart or soul or higher self. So there's like worry that things are not fine, but then ultimately also everything is fine. And the worry comes from him feeling like he's done something, feeling guilty about having, done, he might not have done anything, but he may feel that he's done something, like he's caused harm, he's caused hurt, and he may feel that there's a block as a result of that, like he can't approach. Maybe this is tied to that High Priestess. Remember I said she can come off as unapproachable, or masculine energy can feel that she is unapproachable for whatever reason, and that may be happening here, like I cannot approach because I've caused too much harm, but really that's not true. Overall, we have the Ten of Wands also in reverse, so a need to like lay down those burdens and those feelings, and like sort of relieve yourself of them. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection if it were up to him? And it's that Queen of Pentacles that we just left off at in the last spread, with in the last placement for approaching the full moon. The one of creating a space, creating an environment that feels like home, like sort of nesting and making a home. And of course, she may be a direct earth sign as well. Now we have the king and the queen sort of head to head here. It's definitely a love spread when, when both archetypes of a given suit show up in the spread. She is possibly, like him, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone like into those traits or attributes. What energy the masculine himself is like bringing to the table, at least energetically, it is the Four of Wands. So like I said here, he has this feeling of this sense of being able to provide or wanting to provide, just really wanting to make a beautiful home. And he needs that, that queen, that woman, that feminine who can make the home, who can, build the nest for him. I get this part and you get this part. It's very old-fashioned and traditional, like the Hierophant, and maybe that's the struggle, because maybe things can't really be that way. Maybe the woman makes more money, but there's a desire. Maybe that's why it's a challenge. The Hierophant came up as a challenge in the last spread. There's a desire to be traditional. I'll, take care of the bills and you make the home. And maybe that's not the realistic way of thinking, or that wouldn't be a reality for this particular couple. But ultimately what he wants is, happy home life, joy, partnership, maybe even marriage, engagement, marriage, let's build a family, create a family, whatever level of commitment you're already at. So if it's only energetic, let me meet this person. That's going to bring me joy. You already, know each other. Let me start dating them, make an actual commitment. That's going to bring me joy. Let's move in together, like whatever it is for you. That's what the masculine is coming with, that full Four of Wands. Again, that 11-11. So it lines up with the two twos of wands that we saw in the last spread too. This is the equivalent of two twos of wands. What energy the universe would have each archetype, show up to the party with, and what the universe actually wants to help us with. King of Cups. So like one of the ultimate cards of love in the deck. This is like one of the strongest cards that represents love in the deck, is the King of Cups. He is possibly an actual Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone like him to the traits or attributes of those. And the universe wants to help us to be more like him, to be more loving, to be more in touch with our emotions without being all, emotional, in a derogatory way, as like, crying and wallowing all over the place, to have balance between our masculine and feminine energies, our inner individual masculine and feminine energies, to not be afraid to show emotion, but to also be able to think logically and think things through and talk about things like a grown-up, to be generous and compassionate and loving, and giving. That's what the King of Cups is. That's what the universe wants to help us to do. And fortunately, the outcome is Two of Swords. We don't know what to do. I'll pull one more card on that one. And it is the King of Wands, which, it's now they're just like laughing at me. King of Wands here correlating with the Ace of Wands, also in reverse. Did I say King of Wands? I mean Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, Knights in general for me are about action. Right, I look at the pages as being the message carriers, and the knights as being the action, the people who carry out the action associated with that opportunity or message that comes up. But the Knight of Wands can be somebody who shows up sort of doing both, like I'm notifying you that he's taking action of some sort, and so when he's in reverse, the message can actually be that there's going to be a delay. So like I was saying, there's something that wants to happen here that is not necessarily going to happen as quickly as it would. And I think that's not because of anything external. That's because of us, because of this indecisiveness. And look at the card. There's a new moon in the card. Isn't that cool? So I think if you can make a decision, then you'll turn this card around, then you'll have the decisiveness, and this one as well. If you can't make a decision, then you're going to be in limbo for a bit until you're ready to face everything. Should I pull one more? Nah, I think that's enough. Yeah, I think that's enough. So that will be our new moon in Pisces reading. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment, engage, all of whatever you can do to trick the algorithm, to trick it into noticing us again, so that we can get back out there and get the messages across, is helpful to the channel, and I appreciate it. Namaste.